Welcome back to another episode of the House Always Wins podcast. I'm Joey Andron.
I'm Chance Vanek.
And we are your licensed real estate advisors here in the Las Vegas Valley. And man, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
Man, crazy week.
It is a crazy week.
Crazy,
it's only Tuesday.
Week. Is it? Dude, all my days blend into one another.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's life in your 40s, I guess. How long has it been like that for you? Just the days blending, the years blending?
I think ever since I had my daughter.
And she is how old?
She's 9.
9, and you're 48?
47.
47. Okay, so late 30s for you. So midlife, dude. That's the midlife life.
Well, you know what I think? I think it's the life of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, because there is no weekend.
Zero weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I look forward. So, you know, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, or maybe even a year ago, I told my wife I was going to do my best just to shut it down on the weekends, because I was running, especially during COVID and, you know, coming out of COVID, the market was so hot that I was taking 4 or 5 appointments every day through the weekend, and I was never home.
Never home, never spending time with the family.
You know, and it's, you know, it's so important, especially when you have your kids and they're young. You want to make sure that you're there to at least play with them. You want to, you know, take them outside and, you know, just do all the fun dad things.
Yeah, because you want to be home, especially when they're young, like you said, because it just goes so damn fast when you look back.
Dude, so, you know, days going, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The only time that matters is when the kids are in school.
Yeah.
You know, because then you're doing the fire drill in the morning just to try to get them up and ready and out of the house. And then as soon as I drop them off at school, then it's just go time.
It's weird how I think, at least lately, been looking for outside, I don't know, what's the reinforcement maybe? Because I love driving my kids to school. Like, I think I missed maybe 3 days this year driving them to school, and they're out of school tomorrow.
How old are your kids?
My son is 8, my daughter's 14.
Okay.
So
it's a little better.
Yeah.
It's a little better because they're a little bit more with an 8-year-old, but the 14-year-old, she can get up, she can make herself breakfast if she needs to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. To be honest with you, I wasn't involved when they were little.
Okay.
You know, my business was young at the time. So I was like, gotta get up, gotta get to work. So I left the house before they were all up and at 'em. So my wife did all that. So it wasn't until probably about, I guess, when my son started school. So 5 years ago, right?
Okay.
2020, COVID, when they went back to school from COVID, that's when I started dropping them off.
Yeah.
And now I look forward to it.
Do you?
He was easy though. He's easy. Plus, yeah. I wasn't around when my daughter was little, but I know there was a lot going on down there.
You know, I find it that it's easier when the kids get up, and for me at least, it's no iPads, no TV in the morning. It's get up, get dressed, eat your breakfast, get in the car, and let's go.
Yeah.
And once they have distraction in the morning, the emotions start going. You try to take the iPad away, then they start rolling around on the floor, throwing a tantrum, and it's freaking miserable, dude.
Yeah.
And then I find myself starting my day like not on the right foot.
Yeah.
But when I take those vices away from them and I don't give them the iPads, like, so we actually made a rule, no iPads during the week.
Oh, I love that rule.
Like no iPads until you're done with your homework, then you could get them on the weekend.
That's awesome.
But you just started to cut you off, but that's when we see the emotions are, you know, well under control, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and everybody's actually happy in the house.
We need to definitely put some limitations on our electronics. It's going to be a hard one with the teenager. She's graduating 8th grade tomorrow. She's going into high school.
She really?
Yeah. I'm going to have a high schooler, man. But our little one is special. She's constantly on swiping on TikTok. My little one, he's, you know, the Roblox, YouTube, YouTube Shorts. They just swipe through Shorts. Yeah, it's bad. Our screen time's off the charts.
So we don't even let our kids go on YouTube unless it's YouTube Kids.
Yeah, we do have blocking stuff on there, but then on the other hand, he's like, "Can I watch Deadpool? Sure, go ahead." Right. This was literally yesterday. Dad, screaming down the stairs. Yeah. Can I watch Deadpool? Sure.
Yeah, you know, it's so hard being a parent You know, because you want to give your kids a long leash, but you also want to control everything that they do.
Yeah.
You know, and I find myself doing that in my house. Like I'm not easy.
Yeah.
I'm not easy in my house. And I feel bad for my kids sometimes just because I try to control everything that they do inside the house, you know, because I like to keep my house nice.
Yeah.
You know, and I say my kid's like, especially Rocco's like a tornado.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And he's like bouncing off the walls. You know, and then, you know, my daughter, she's super artistic. So we actually in the ensuite downstairs, there's a walk-in closet, and we made that her art room. We put an art desk in there, put all of her stuff. But once she destroys that room, everything just spills out into the house and on the dining room table. Like she had paint on the floor. I was like, what are you doing? You know? But then you reflect at the end of the day, and you're like, man, was I too hard on them?
Right. But then you have, on the other hand, I had a client one time. He was an artist, like art director for some big companies here in town. And I was in his house, and they had one child. Husband and wife were both art people. Mm-hmm. And I think their child was autistic as well, but very talented in like fine art. And the kid was about 7 years old. The whole house, 2-story home in Inspirata, one of the older ones, like those little... They have like the driveways between. Yep. Yeah. The whole house, dude. First floor, second floor, up the stairwell, up to about 3.5 feet, was paint, art.
Pictures?
The kid, they just let the kid go at it.
All over the house.
The whole house.
Like on the actual walls.
Every wall in the house.
I would not be able to come home.
So, so like, are you being too tough? Are they being too easy?
Yeah.
Like,
dude, I don't even know if I could handle that.
I never seen anything like that before.
You know, good for them though.
Yeah.
Good for them. And I personally can't do it. If I see things that are out of place, and maybe that's something that I have to deal with internally.
Yeah.
But you know, my wife is the same way. Like we're like, if things are out of place in our house, I can't, I'm not at ease.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man. I got to get my house in order. That's what we're working on right now. We have a designer coming over tomorrow.
Oh, good for you.
To pick out the color palette.
Look at you.
So we're going to redo everything.
This guy's making so much money.
No,
he's got his designers
we're
redesign.
not.
No,
but my wife's like, I mean, we've been in this house for 20 plus years. It's been lived in. It's been lived in well. And it's outdated and it's beat up. And, you know.
Dude, that's
she's
fun,
like, you just have money in the bank. Let's just use the money. Like,
that's going to be a fun project for you guys.
I think I'm going to try to take it all on myself. The majority of it. Yeah.
Are you handy like that?
I am pretty handy like that. I just got really lazy over the past 5 years. I don't want to be lazy anymore. Dude. I do not. I've been lazy, bro. And I think that's what's been bugging me. Because like I got older and I was like, I don't want to do physical work anymore. Which I love I love all work.
Yeah.
But there's something about getting physical in there.
You like that stuff. So I can hang pictures extremely well. Like that's like my jam. Like I don't need a ruler. I don't need a leveler. I'm like, I got a keen eye for that.
Yeah.
But to build stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So perfect example. So we have this thermoary wood. It's always hard word for me to say. Okay. Anyways, it's that baked wood, right? It's very good for the desert heat. Okay. So on the side of my house that backs up or that shares the wall to my pool. Yeah. It's the bottom quarter of the wall. Okay. It's the full length of my house. Okay. Right. And then we tiled the wall up.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
But it gets direct sunlight.
Yeah.
So the stain only lasted a year. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. And the guy who installed it was like, hey, just go get this product, take a rag and wipe it down. And then the natural color of the stain, the original color of the stain will come out. Okay. So I looked at it. I couldn't find it. Right. It was $100 a gallon. Yeah. And I was like, man, let me see if I can get this at Lowe's. Yeah. So I go to Lowe's. And of course, I get the new girl. Yeah. So she has absolutely zero clue. So I start talking to the paint guy, and he's like, "Wow." He's like, "That's really weird. It shouldn't have only lasted a year. The stain probably wasn't a really good product. Get the Thompsons, right?" Oh. And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, it has the clear coat and it has the stain, and it's gonna last, 10 years, like it says on the can." Yeah. So he's like, "Which color do you need?" And I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, "Well, it says." I forget like oak or whatever it was, right? I'm like, I think that's the color, So I grabbed the stuff and I'm like, what what should I use to apply it? And this girl's like, well, use this big sponge. It kind of looks like something you'd wash your car with, right? So I'm like, all right. So I get all the stuff and I take it back to my house. And literally we were just at my daughter's soccer game and my daughter was with me. She's still in her soccer gear, right? And I am like wasting no time. So once I have something like that in my mind, I'm like, let's go for it, right? So I get the plastic out that I had in my garage from when we painted the interior. And I lay it all out, you know, and it's all like crinkled up and stuff. And I put the can down and I shake it up. Well, I shake it up and I open it up and I'm like, man, it looks kind of orange, you know? And I'm like, but maybe it will darken once it applies to the wood, right? And my son comes out. I want to help. My daughter and him are fighting. No, I'm going to do it. No, we're going to fight, right? And I haven't even like really prepped the entire section yet with no painter's tape on the tile, nothing, right? And my daughter grabs the rag. And she starts going, and then they start fighting. Right? Damn. And the sun, right, is beating on that whole wall, right? And I'm like, I'm like hyperventilating because I know it's going to dry, and you can see like these dark spots, right? And I'm like, yelling, get inside, go inside. My wife comes out and stuff. Rocco's throwing a fit, and Juliana's, it was a nightmare, right? So I'm taking this sponge, and I'm like, whoosh, whoosh, just going at it, right? Not even thinking like, hey, maybe you should test a little spot first. Dude, I did the whole freaking wall, right? The entire wall. Meanwhile, my wife's in the kitchen. She's doing her thing. She's working out. Doesn't even bother to come out to like even see what I'm doing, right? Like, so I'm putting all the blame on her.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, I grab her. I'm like, babe, I'm like, you want to check out the wall? I'm like, I'm done. And she comes out. She goes, what did you do?
The color was all wrong.
Looked at her. I was like, what do you mean? What did I do? I'm like, it's the, she's like, that is not the color. And I'm like, you don't like it? She's like, nope. I was like, my life, dude.
Yeah.
So now I call my brother-in-law because he's like super handy. I'm like, what should I do? And he goes, well, you have two options. You can either sand it or you can get a darker stain and go over it and hope that will get to the color that you need.
Right.
And I was like, God damn. So now it's been, I want to say maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, damn.
Right? The plastic's still out there. The can's still out there. Right? And I'm looking at this wall and I'm like, every time I walk by it, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. So I called the guy who installed it. I'm like, how much would you charge me to replace the entire wall?
Right. Oh, damn.
Dude, like I do not want to do it.
What was the number?
He hasn't gotten back to me. But that whole wall cost me like, I want to say $2,500.
Wow. You're willing to go $2,500?
Because I know if I stain it again, right, it's not going to look, it's not going to be the color, right?
Yeah.
And if I sand it, dude, there's like 1/8 grooves or like, because it's tongue and groove.
Yeah.
And I
it's
got,
never going to come out.
I got in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I made sure I covered up all. So what do I do?
This is why we have a designer coming over Wednesday at 3, because when we first bought the house, it was a brand new home, white. I painted the kitchen like 5 times. I painted it 5 times. I had to take it back for the children out there. I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to, we're doing floor, we're doing paint, we're doing countertops. I'm not going to spend whatever we spend on it and not be absolutely happy. So I want a designer to come out, tell me, show me, this is what we're doing. Explain to me why you need to buy this tile, this countertop, boom, boom, boom. And then once I have that, I'm going to go at it, bro. I'm
Good for
get
you.
my boots on.
Dude, I commend you for that because I could not take that project on.
I probably shouldn't be taking that project on. I should be on the phones, finding more clients.
Yeah.
But I think it'll save me a lot of money. And that's really why I got into residential real estate, because I wanted to flip properties.
Okay.
And, but maybe being a little bit of a control freak, like who are you going to hire? Who are you going to rely on?
Sure.
Screw it. If I can do it all myself.
If you can do it yourself, I mean, I would just do it. It does take a lot of time, but if you have the skill set, you know exactly what you want and you can get it done. Right. And you will save yourself a boatload of money.
A boatload of, I could probably do it for 50% of what it would cost anyone else.
Well, I would go ahead and do it. Like for me, I have the vision and I know exactly what I want, but the execution, like I'm not afraid to take it on, like roll my sleeves up, but it never comes out the way that I want it.
Really?
Interesting. So I'm looking at the orange wall and I'm like, can I live with it? But my perimeter wall, the back wall is also all wood. So I would have to do that one exactly the same way as I did the wall in the house.
Damn.
So now I had this dilemma.
We need
Like,
to see
what
some
do I
pictures.
do?
We need to see some pictures. We need to show it to the people and let the people decide.
I will. I'll
Maybe
send you
someone
the
comes
pics.
up with a great idea of how to remedy it.
Well, I mean, I only have two options: either
Yeah.
sand it or scrap it and redo it.
Can it be painted?
But it just won't give that same look.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I bet the orange looks great contrasting with that shirt today.
Oh, dude,
orange and teal's like
yeah.
cinematic.
So I'm actually gonna go home, and then I'm gonna crack open a beer. I'm gonna sit up against the wall, and I'll take a selfie for you. But so I have an investment property.
Okay.
In Silverado Ranch.
Okay.
I bought it with a client of mine.
Nice.
And we're gonna do midterm rentals with it.
Okay.
Right. It's awesome
Is
house.
this new?
Single story. Well, we purchased it back in February.
Oh, so this
In
is
March.
a new venture, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know about. How do I not hear about this on the podcast?
Yeah, man. So, well, I'm telling you now. So I'm really excited about it. And so this is actually, we kind of just came up with this partnership. So I sold her the house with the intention of her having an investment property.
Okay.
She's going through a rough time in her life right now, and she can't focus on it. So I said, hey, look, I'm going to step in. You and I are going to be 50-50 partners. You're going to keep everything in place. I'm going to manage the property. I'm going to furnish the property, everything.
That's
right?
awesome.
So again, I'm like, babe, you know what? I think this is going to be a great opportunity for me, and it's going to help her out a lot. And I think the midterm rentals are going to do extremely well. It has a single story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool, Silverado Ranch. Awesome, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to furnish the damn house. So I started looking online, going to Facebook Marketplace, going to RC Willie, going to all these places, right? I have the idea of what I want, but I don't have the time to go out there and do it.
Oh, damn.
Right? So I was like, first thing, IKEA, right? Plates, silverware, glassware, kitchen stuff, right? I spend like $600 on the stuff, and I go to the house and I'm like looking around. I'm like, dude, I don't have the time to put together beds. I want accent walls. I want all of these things. And I asked Jason Griggs if he had a designer that he worked with for his Airbnbs. Hooked me up with this girl, Patty, and I spoke to her over the phone. I gave her a budget of how much I wanted to spend on furnishings, and she gave me her price to furnish it, or excuse me, to design it.
Yeah.
Signed the contract with her. Bam. June 8th, the house is going to be ready.
Really?
I went by there today. Dining room sets are already there. Bedroom sets are being assembled this weekend. The couch is there, area rug. We're going to do shiplap on the wall. Do the whole nine, bro. And it's only going to take 3 weeks.
That's awesome.
To get done. If I had to do it myself,
yeah,
bro, it'd be like 6 months.
Okay, so this is really cool. And I want to dig into that because how big is the house?
It's just under 1,300 square feet.
1,300 square feet. So 3-bedroom?
3-bedroom, 2-bath.
And how much did she charge you to design it?
$3,000.
$3,000 for, she's going to pick out all the furniture, all the paint.
For her services.
And then how much are you spending in furniture?
Between 10 and 12,000.
So about 15 grand. But this place is going to look basically like a suite at a hotel.
Amazing. And because my client renovated the kitchen, complete redesign of the kitchen, brand new cabinets, countertops. I mean, it looks like a Toll Brothers kitchen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow. That's cool, dude.
So we're really excited. And I'm
excited for you.
And I'm looking at the comps in the area, and they're renting anywhere between $4,500 to $5,000 a month.
Really?
Yeah, for short-term rental. Well, not short-term, mid-term rental. So
which is 6 months?
1, 3, 6.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. But if we find a really good tenant that will stay there for the year, we'll entertain that as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But the thing is, you're not gonna make a boatload of money. You might make a few $100 every month, but the appreciation of the property is where it's at, because when I sold her the house for $450,000, back in February or March, comps are already suggesting about $468.
Right.
In such a short period of time.
That's awesome.
So now having that house that's going to be completely furnished turnkey, that could be a very good investment for somebody. We'll hold it for 12 months and see where the market goes. And if there's any interest, or if it's working out for us, great. If it's just kind of like breaking even and that equity has really skyrocketed, then we'll probably sell it and move on.
That's cool, dude.
And
That's
get a bigger house.
Nice. I might have to get that woman's phone number.
Yeah. Dude, she's amazing.
Yeah.
So she decorates and designs all of Jason's Airbnbs.
Yeah.
I think she's doing a 7,000 square foot house right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But she really did me a solid, because I told her, hey, I'm up against the gun here. This house has been sitting vacant. We needed to start bringing in some cash.
Yeah.
And she really put some things aside for us. So,
that's cool.
And the crazy thing is, like, she usually charges $4,000 to $5,000, and she did me a solid at $3,000.
Okay.
Right. Patty, if you're watching this, I love you.
Good job, Patty. Good job. I'm calling you.
But you know, I'm really excited about it. I mean, there's really some good opportunities that are coming online right now, and I'm starting to look at subject to financing deals. I just got one sent to me yesterday, North Las Vegas. All right, so this subject to deal is in North Las Vegas. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2,025 square feet, built in 2022. You got $15,000 in upgrades, and the principal balance is $393,000. Mortgage interest rate is 5.875. So the entry fee. So if you wanted this property, you would have to pay the owner $35,000 to slide in and take over the property. The monthly principal, interest, and taxes is $2,898.
What's the square footage?
2,025. But there's a solar payment. Dude, I hate solar. I honestly cannot stand solar.
To have it or to pay for it?
All of it.
Really?
I hate solar.
Why?
Dude. It always throws a wrench in the deal. Always. Yeah. It's an additional payment that that buyers typically don't want to factor in.
Sure.
Right? If it's not, they want to make a decision, it's voluntary, then, you know, stay in the house for 10 years and actually get usage out of it. If you stay in the house for a year, you're going to spend $20,000, $30,000 or even $40,000 on panels.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you're not going to benefit. You're paying a high payment to the solar panel company.
Right.
When you could pay half of that probably on your utility bill.
Yeah.
So to give you a perfect example, let me just finish this real quick. HOA is $193 per month. So midterm rental, they're estimating $4,500 to $5,500. So you'll cash flow a few $100 on this property.
A few hundred?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only $2,000 a month.
No, it's 28. So it's like $2,900 a month. All right, so you'll a couple $1,000.
Okay.
But you have to look at this on a 12-month basis, right? So if you're doing short-term or midterm rentals, how many months is it actually staying vacant? Right. So sometimes it's better just to put a tenant in there year round and or for the year, and then you'll, have a better net.
Is there any equity in the property?
I would say there's probably a little bit of equity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to this, so check this out. This is a deal that I'm in right now in North Las Vegas. We're in contract. We find out that that the house has solar. In the description, it says home has solar.
Okay.
Right? Very vague.
Right.
Doesn't say what the solar payment,
right.
Doesn't say if it's paid off, right? So we get into contract and we are outside of our due diligence period. Okay. And we find out that we have to assume this loan because the agent wasn't forthcoming with the information. Okay. Apparently the seller found out after the fact that they had to meet a target balance with the solar company before they can initiate the transfer to the new owner. That balance that they had to meet was $11,000, almost $12,000 that had to be paid to the solar company before that transfer could happen.
Wow.
Now, in this deal, the only reason why my clients are buying this house is because it has a multi-gen, and that was their main focus.
Yeah.
There's the clients that we discussed before that they were looking at D.R. Horton. They had to have this house because it was a resale. They can get in quick, and it has a multi-gen.
Right.
Another added bonus, both buyer and seller are VAs, so they can assume this loan, 5.875.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, right? It's not like, oh my God, this is the deal that we have to have, but it was a benefit, right?
Yeah.
So my clients were in contract on another home, and we canceled that to get into this deal, right? So they are going in 100% financing, as VAs normally do. So in this case, they had to assume, they're assuming the mortgage, right? They're paying full list price $700,000, okay? They're paying for the seller's closing costs and their own closing costs as the buyer.
Wow.
And they're coming out of pocket around $68,000, almost $70,000 now because they have to pay for the transfer. The seller is only paying $5,000 towards the transfer. They only wanted to pay $3,000, and I fought tooth and nail for my clients, for the sellers to pay at least $5,000. So, dude, think about that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Well, especially if you're a veteran, I'm assuming you're thinking, okay, we're getting into a house with almost nothing out of pocket, right? And now you're coming up with 70 Gs? It's
actually like $83,000 are coming out of pocket now.
They must really love this house.
Because it has the multi-gen.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. So if you're considering solar, do your due diligence.
Right.
Right? Make sure you're going to stay in the house long enough to benefit,
Yeah.
right? Because you're going to. So in addition to that, the tax credit that the seller took advantage of, it doesn't transfer to the buyer.
Okay.
So they're getting a sweetheart deal on this, bro.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for my clients because they're in a position where they're like, my God, we want this house. We're so far down the line now.
Wait, who's getting the sweetheart deal?
The seller.
The seller, right? That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, dude, they're getting all their closing costs paid. They're getting their target balance met.
I can't believe there's not another property out there for your clients. It sounds like it was the seller's error, and you guys should be able to get out of the deal if you want.
Right. Well, we could get out of the deal, but they
really
want this house so bad.
Jeez.
Yes.
Must be I got to see this house.
It has a beautiful backyard.
Yeah.
You know, the sellers within that year put about $25,000 in the backyard. There's no pool, but it's, artificial turf, nice landscaping.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you,
That's crazy.
solar, I've lost more deals because of solar.
Yeah.
Because they have to take in consideration your mortgage payment, your HOA, and then that solar payment.
Yeah.
And now I think this just came into effect about 12 to 18 months ago, which I was unaware of because I don't really don't deal with solar, that there's a target balance that has to be met. The lender or the person who's financing it is called Good Leap.
Okay.
So if you have Good Leap out there or you're buying a house that has solar and they have Good Leap, make sure you do your due diligence and call them, get all that information.
Yeah, I've only done a few properties with solar, but 3 in total. The first 2 were new builds, so it was already handled. And then this listing right now, they have solar.
Yeah.
So,
Are you experiencing any issues?
we're having a meeting on Thursday to talk about price adjustments. We've only had one showing in over 3 weeks.
The market will dictate the price.
This is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else good going on in your world?
No, just being tested this week with my entrepreneurial grit, and it's only Tuesday. But like you said, it never stops. There is no Saturday, Sunday. I look forward to Fridays, not because the weekend's coming, because it's sparring day, and I get to punch someone in the face and get punched in the face.
I do not want to be your sparring partner after a rough week.
Man, it's been about a little over 2 years now. I've been doing the kickboxing. I'm actually doing private lessons with the striking coach right now.
Are you?
Just to focus on the fighting not like the technique, like the sparring side.
Yeah, just like the takedown.
Just the.
Do you wear headgear?
No, I need to though, because I went Thursday night and Friday morning back to back, and my nose is sore still today. I think there's some cuts on it even. Yeah, I got pretty tooled up this week, but that's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
So what ounce gloves do you wear?
16s.
Okay.
But I don't know if all the opponents wear them. Thursday night is chaos at the gym. I never really went to Thursday night sparring.
Everyone walks in just
there
like
was
looking
like
to beat some
100
ass.
people, and everyone was like bumping into each other, just scrapping. Friday mornings, 9 o'clock. It's a much more chill environment, and I really enjoy it. But yesterday, I had a judge tell me I was a scholar and a gentleman. I don't know what this person was, call me an idiot, but I'm sure they weren't a judge. I have someone who still owes me money from a water heater installation that was done yesterday, and apparently there's a problem with Zelle at their bank today. It's been a interesting beginning of the week so far.
Well, at least it started off good with the judge actually telling you that
that
you
was
were a
very
scholar.
kind. That was very kind of her.
Was she being condescending, or was she being
No, she was very, very nice. But you know what? Something about that. She had called, I think, Saturday when I was on my way home from the gym, so I was feeling great. I had a great workout, and she had bought a house from a previous customer of ours, and there was a problem with the water heater my company installed. And she's like, I have a home warranty. This is what I said, but she introduced herself as Judge. We'll leave her name out of it. And I was like, oh, hey, I would love to help, especially a judge, right?
Sure.
And so I helped her with a few things. But then I thought to myself, why would I just do that special treatment for a judge? If I started treating everyone that way, which I usually do for the most part, but when she said that, like something inside of me kind of switched, and I was like, opportunity.
Right.
And then I kind of felt guilty because I was kind of selfish about myself. If I really took that excitement to assist with everyone I spoke to and everything,
Yeah.
I bet you my life would be totally different.
I think you're right.
And so I'm going to start implementing that right now.
You know, I find myself doing a lot more business when I'm not in a position where, you know, you have commission breath.
Yeah.
Right. And the better, if you're, our business is to serve, right? Because we're in the service industry,
Sure.
right? Where we identify problems, or people call you with their problem, and you have to be the problem solver, and you have to figure out a resolution to best serve them, you know?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but not just business, Joey. I think in life in general, because I'm finding a lot of people who are very unhappy, but they're only focusing on their self. And if you're always focusing on making your own self happy, you're never going to find enough happiness.
Yeah.
But if you start focusing on helping others, I think you're going to get endless amounts of enjoyment from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And your energy is better. You radiate,
right?
You know, positivity, and people are attracted to that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's, you know, walking through life with that mentality, and, you know, obviously it translates into our business. You know, people are more willing to give you referrals. People are more willing to do business with you, be more truthful with you. And it's just, there's not enough people like that, because we come across so many people in our industry that they're always, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
You know, and they take advantage of situations. I get taken advantage of a lot. And my wife is like, you do too much for your clients. I'm like, but that's just me.
Right.
You know, that's just, I want to make sure that they're happy.
I don't think it's too much, dude. And I think that's great that you do that. Like the video you posted, was that this morning with the pillows?
Oh, yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. He's driving down the street, car full of pillows for one of his listings because they didn't have enough throw pillows on the bed.
No.
Only Joey would notice not enough throw pillows on the bed. Here he is over at Home Goods buying pillows.
Dude, so, and that's the thing, right? So, they're friends of mine.
Yeah.
And they're in a position where they're trying to buy a house in St. Louis. And apparently that market is gangbusters right now.
Okay.
It's like how it was during COVID out here.
Really?
Like $75,000, $100,000 above list price. Everybody up there, they're waiving their inspection and appraisal contingencies.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get a house. So they're trying to do that remotely.
Yeah.
And they're like, we really want to sell our house, you know? So they started, you know, putting things away. And, you know, the wife is traveling for work. She's in Pittsburgh right now. And he's, you know, playing Mr. Mom with the kids and trying to get the house ready. And he's like, hey, look, I got everything put away and clean. And I was like, you know, send me some pictures. So he sends me these pictures of the interior of the house. And I'm like, oh, dude, I got a lot of work to do, right? And the photographer was on his way. He's like, it was 6:50. He was supposed to be there at 6:15. He got there like at 5:45.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these pictures and I was like, oh, God, help me. Right. And I'm like, hey, do you have anything else that we could put on the beds?
Yeah.
You know, he's like, no, but, you know, feel free to bring something if you got it. I was like, what does that even mean? Right. So I'm literally on Eastern heading towards Anthem, and I'm Eastern and Horizon Ridge. And I was like, gosh, busted a U. He ran through Home Goods and was just like, and all I had was a picture of the bed frame.
Yeah.
And I saw a little bit of blue on the draperies, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe I could do this and that. And I was looking through Home Goods. I just got a bunch of pillows, some like
Nice.
throw blankets, and it ended up working out.
How does it look?
Well, I just got the pictures back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Does it look good?
I haven't looked
Oh,
through them
dude,
yet,
we gotta
but it
know.
looked good, you know, when I was doing it. I posted a picture on Instagram. But then I went through the house, and then I placed some other pillows and got rid of so much stuff off the counter. But those are the things that we do. Most listing agents will just say, okay, yeah, photographer's there. We'll take the pictures. I was there for 3 hours yesterday, moving things around, taking things off, Kleenex boxes, backpacks, things, holding stuff while the guy was taking pictures and then putting things back in place, you know?
Those are the things you've got to do.
But that's what you do, right?
That's
They're
what
in a
you gotta
position where they want to sell. I want to do the best for my clients. I want to sell the house. And it also looks good when other people in the neighborhood are coming over and they're like, wow, this guy actually went above and beyond what he needed to do in order to get the house looking
awesome.
Show ready.
That's awesome.
So,
you know, going back to the physical labor stuff, I really do enjoy that, but I don't enjoy doing it for money.
Really?
It changes the whole thing.
Do you want to come over and stain my...
That's not what I mean. But like, you know, my brother, he's a fantastic cook. And I'm like, bro, why don't you get into like the restaurant business? He's like, I don't want to do this for money. And I never understood that until actually almost just now having this conversation.
Okay.
Because I do enjoy doing the physical stuff. But when the money is involved and the negotiation over what I value my time to get this project done versus someone not seeing the value there, I don't like that hurdle. And it takes the enjoyment out of it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You know, you get self-satisfaction.
Self-satisfaction, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's good, man. It's a good place to be. You know, mentally,
Yeah.
feels good.
It does feel good.
Yeah.
It does feel good. Well, I don't know if I made any sense in this one.
You never do.
I know.
You never do, but that's what I love it, man. It's all over the place.
This is my life.
That's some good stuff, man. I hope that project goes well. I want to see some pictures, but again, if you ever want to come over and tackle my wall, you are more than
I can't. I'm busy. Yeah. We're leaving for 39 days. In 39 days, we'll be leaving for our 1 week in Newport Beach for the 4th of July.
Okay.
So she's coming over tomorrow. I want to get this done before we leave. So when we come home, we can come home to a newly remodeled home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff, buddy.
So I'll be busy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Well, that wraps up our podcast today. I hope you guys found it exciting and enlightening with all of the things that are going on in our life. But if you have any questions about Las Vegas, the real estate market, you know where to find us. Until next time, catch you on the next video. Peace.
Peace.